Okay, I think we're ready to start. So, hi and welcome everyone to the course insight session and course introduction today. So this is going to be a bit of an introduction to the MSc in Financial Management, a course that you're all expressing an interest in. It's a part-time online and blended course delivered here at the Alliance Manchester Business School. And it's a course that's really been designed with the working professional in mind. So it's an incredibly flexible course which allows you to study alongside your working commitments. So today, myself, Dr. Amedeo de Cesari and Professor Arif Khurshed are going to walk you through the course in a little bit more detail. So we're going to provide you with an in-depth overview of the course content, the structure, why the Alliance Manchester Business School should be your first choice of institution for postgraduate study. And we're very lucky to have Arif joining us today, who's going to give a demonstration of the virtual learning platform that you as prospective students will use on a daily basis throughout your studies. Like I said, I'm joined by Dr. Amedeo de Cesari, who is the course director of the MSc in Financial Management. I'm also joined by Professor Arif Khurshed, who is the unit lead for the Foundations of Finance unit on this particular course. And we're going to talk you through this course today in a little bit more detail. Now, there's going to be a lot of information coming your way today, but we really hope you find today's session insightful and you leave today's session with the information you need to really take the next steps in your postgraduate journey, hopefully with the University of Manchester and the Alliance Manchester Business School. So without further ado, I am going to start with a bit of an introduction as to who I am. So my name is Daisy James and I am the dedicated course advisor and recruitment support for the MSc in Financial Management, and I have been doing this role for coming up to 2 years now. I have 5 years of experience within the student recruitment and higher education space. My main responsibility and my main role is to really deliver webinars and online kind of networking events such as this one, but also individual consultations with prospective students. So that's an aspect of my role that I really enjoy doing, and it's something that prospective students really, I believe, benefit from. So it's a way for me to get to know you as individuals, for me to understand your background and really kind of figure out whether or not this course matches your kind of experience and aligns with what you're looking for career-wise and kind of academic-wise as well. So like I said, my main role is to offer support and guidance at every stage of your decision-making and application journey. I work very closely with Amedeo and Arif and would be really willing to speak with you in more detail at the end of this session. So please feel free to contact me with any questions after today's session. Now, Amedeo, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Daisy. And again, welcome to this webinar, everybody. Hopefully you will enjoy this webinar. You will find it very helpful to make a decision about possible application. I would like to spend a few words talking about myself and also my role within this program. So I'm basically the course director of this online blended program in financial management, and I've been involved in this program since day one when we started thinking about this program alongside other academics, particularly Professor Arif Khurshed, that helped me very much to develop this program together with other faculty members here at Alliance Manchester Business School. I teach finance. I teach finance at different levels. I also do research in finance. So I have experience teaching mostly corporate finance and financial management to undergraduate students, postgraduate students, MBA students, and also, of course, I teach in this MSc in Financial Management. My unit is called Corporate Finance, which is a second semester unit. So I am heavily involved in this program. I'm glad it's going well, and I trust you will find it interesting and valuable if you enroll on this program. Now, in terms of my research, which is quite important because we want our program to be informed by cutting-edge research in finance. My research is in the area of corporate finance and governance. So I don't have much time to explain what I've done in my research, but basically I focus on some very important corporate decisions concerning, for instance, dividend payments, buybacks of stocks. I also look at merger and acquisitions, innovation, executive compensation. So my research is quite varied. And again, I try to apply my research in my teaching, particularly in this program. Now, this program somehow is quite an interesting program for professionals for the reason that it has been built for them. It has been built for people that perhaps do not have a prior background in accounting and or finance, particularly in finance, either academic or other type of background. So we essentially assume that our students have the skills to do well in this program, but do not have any prior knowledge or context-specific material. We start slowly and then we build up quite quickly. And one important point I want to make is that in this program, we touch upon the theoretical foundations of the subjects we cover, but the practical applications are really the highlight of the program. So it's a program for professionals. Another important point I want to mention is that we have been teaching this type of programs for a long time. So we have lots of experience when it comes to blended programs such as the Global MBA program, and academics such as Professor Arif Khurshed and Dr. Julian Jones, who are the leaders for the first 2 units here of this program, have a lot of experience when it comes to teaching within blended programs. So now I hand over to Arif so that he can also introduce himself.
Thank you, Amedeo, and good morning, everyone. Very happy to see many of you could join us today from different parts of the world. So this is really very pleasing. My name is Arif Khurshed, and I'm a professor of finance at the business school here. I've been around for a long time. So I joined Manchester back in 1999. So it's been more than 20 years. And over the last 20 years, as a business school, we have been very successful in terms of delivering world quality MBA and MSc programs. And this new program that was launched almost 2 years ago, MSc in Financial Management, is one of the very new programs designed as a blended learning program, keeping in mind the requirements of the changing world. Especially, I expect that many of you would already be working in different capacities, yet you are interested in understanding finance, in reading about this and doing a master's in it. So what we do here is we bring the program to you. We don't ask you to come to Manchester by resigning from your posts. And if you have families, bring them here for 2 years and studying on campus. Instead, we bring the program to you wherever you are in the world through this virtual learning environment. In terms of my involvement with the MSc Financial Management, as Amedeo mentioned a few minutes ago, he and I, about 4 years ago, were given the task of creating a new program, especially for people who do not have a background in finance. If you look around the world, especially in good universities, mostly what you will see is that if you're going for an MSc in finance or financial management, the minimum requirement would be that you have done an undergraduate degree in finance or related subjects. That's the usual requirement. However, when we created MSc FM, we were of the view that there needs to be a program for people who would like to move into the world of finance. So they would like to work in the financial industry, or they want to become a finance academic, yet their background does not permit them to do so. For example, they did not do an undergraduate degree in finance or accounting. So what about these students who would like to work in the world of finance, yet do not have an opportunity? So that was the founding sort of idea for us to create MSc Financial Management. And as Amedeo was saying, we do not expect you to be experts in finance. We will make you one. It is our job as academics, when you join our program, that we teach you finance from the very basic fundamental sort of ideas to the cutting edge in terms of the developments in the world of finance. So that's how we created the program for you. I'm also involved in teaching one of the core courses in the first semester. So for people who join our MSc, you've got 4 semesters, and we will talk about those in just a few minutes. But in the first semester, you will have 2 courses. One would be Foundations of Accounting, and the other one would be Foundations of Finance. And I am engaged with teaching Foundations of Finance in the first semester. What you will see here is that in places like Manchester, academics are very research active, as Amedeo was just speaking about. And the important reason why we pay a lot of attention to research is that our teaching is informed by our own research. So when I am, or when Amedeo or Julian or anyone else on the program is talking to you about a particular, that we would be publishing papers or writing books or doing research in that particular area, so that when we are telling you or teaching you about the theoretical foundations of that particular topic, we are also able to share with you what is happening in the real world. So this is research-informed teaching. Not all universities can do that because research is something that is very specific and not all universities are good in doing that. In terms of my own research interests, I look at how companies raise capital to grow, because we all know that for companies to survive, they have to keep on growing. And for a company to grow, it needs money. So where does the money come from? And one of the possibilities of raising capital is when a company sells shares to new investors and conducts what is called an initial public offering, or IPO. So I look at different aspects of IPOs. How do companies prepare themselves? How do they interact with other players like investment banks? How do they allocate shares? And so on and so forth. Along with that, I also do research on trade credit, on the role of venture capital as providers of capital to growing firms. Recently, I am now sort of dribbling in the world of politics and entrepreneurship. And also, I'm very much interested in understanding the level of financial literacy, especially amongst younger children, in the sense, how do they look at money? So what we are doing here at Manchester is that we are interacting with local schools, where my colleagues and I periodically talk to students, 10, 12, 15 years old, to see how they look at money and money management. In terms of my experience, I have been an external consultant to the UK Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, which is the regulator of financial markets, also consultant to the British Venture Capital Association, and recently I have acted as expert witness in matters of corporate disputes. So this is my background. We now move on to the next part of our presentation, where Daisy will talk to you about why you should choose Alliance Manchester Business School.
Thank you, Arif. Thank you, Amedeo. It's always a pleasure being in a virtual room with you both. So thanks for the introduction. So you're probably thinking, well, why the Alliance Manchester Business School? Making a decision about postgraduate study is definitely not an easy one. There's many, many things to consider. One of those things is obviously the course itself. So you've got to kind of think about whether the course really aligns with your interests and kind of growth ideas in terms of your career, but also on a personal level as well. And secondly, the second other aspect to consider is the institution itself. So the institution delivering your chosen postgraduate course. So the MSc in Financial Management falls within the portfolio of courses that are successfully delivered by the Alliance Manchester Business School. I'm going to call it AMBS because it is a bit of a mouthful. So AMBS was established back in 1965 as one of the UK's first two business schools. So we've been around for a pretty long time, and we have kind of led the way really in kind of what we teach and the academics that teach you several different courses in the portfolio of AMBS. Now, we were ranked a UK top 10 business school by Bloomberg back in 2020. And we believe that the academics who are world-class really in their fields produce graduates who think that little bit differently. So our academics and the content that they teach you and the kind of industry experience they provide you with the knowledge and ability and expertise to really excel in today's very competitive and quite overcrowded business environment. So we believe that having a stamp from AMBS will really kind of put you in good stead going forward. As you can see, we are part of the University of Manchester, which again is world leading and highly ranked. You can see on your screens here that we are ranked 6th in the UK, 8th in Europe and 27th in the world. Something to consider when you're thinking about your institution of choice. We were also back in 2020 voted for Graduate Employment University of the Year by the Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide. So what I believe and what a lot of our recruitment colleagues believe, that by having a stamp from AMBS on your CV or profile will ultimately make you a little bit more attractive when it comes to applying perhaps for that next promotion or that new role in a new industry or sector. You can see here the final point, you will become part of a global network upon graduating, and that global network consists of 60,000 alumni who are based in over 176 different countries. So what that means is once you graduate, you'll become part of an incredibly diverse global community who you'll stay connected with, we hope, for many years to come. And we believe that you never really know what doors that might open for you in terms of your career development and also on a personal sense as well. So hopefully this gives you a bit of an overview as to why the Alliance Manchester Business School should be your first choice of institution for postgraduate study. We've got some incredibly fantastic, talented academics who teach you on this course, and we hope that you do choose to join us next year when we enroll for this course. So on that note, I'm going to hand it back over to Arif and Amedeo.
Okay, thanks a lot, Daisy. Yeah, as Daisy was saying, of course, one of the objectives of this program is to basically allow you to learn some skills so that will be very important in your career going forward. And the course is called Financial Management for a reason. It's a course where we want to essentially allow people to become potentially financial managers. So people working in the world of finance, people working, for instance, for large multinational companies as financial managers in the finance function of the company. And ultimately, in this course, we are going to provide some notions, some content, but more importantly, we are also going to provide somehow some skills, some critical thinking skills, reflective skills that would allow you to tackle any kind of problems that in practice you may face. So that's a very important objective of this course. We believe that nowadays, of course, as always, but even more nowadays, business leaders, managers need to be flexible, need to be able to adapt, need to be able to basically have the skills to tackle newly arising problems and challenges. And one important point about this MSc in this context is that we do not have exams. So in this MSc, we have projects. We give you assignments, and these assignments often are based on case studies. And then you will be allowed through this to tackle some case studies, some case study questions that are related often to actual companies. So these are very relevant in that what you learn through this exercise can be applied also in practice to your own profession in different ways, in different contexts. Also, it's important for us to focus on corporate social responsibility. That's a very important focus in our MSc in financial management. So, for instance, in my unit, I talk about the benefits of CSR and the evidence that many companies do well for society and also do well for themselves. So there is not always a tension between these two objectives. We want you to become, of course, a confident leader, a critical thinker. That's very important. We push you very hard to think critically, to be engaged in activities that somehow allow you to develop such skills. And again, in this MSc in financial management, we do not focus on a particular country or a particular context, but we focus on skills that can be applied across the world, working for multinational organizations or organizations that work primarily in a particular market and economy. I also would like to allow Arif to talk a little bit about the project, the Final Supervised Project, which is a very important highlight of this program.
Sure, Amedeo. So the way in which we design the program is that in the first 3 semesters, which will be 6 months each, you will go through a number of courses, and we'll go through that in just a few minutes. But then when you arrive in the final semester of your program, that would be a semester in which you, along with some of your colleagues as a team, will work on what we call the final supervised project. So in that sense, what we do is halfway through the program, we start preparing you to work on a project. In the sense, we give you courses, we give you the skills that will help you to come up with a project report. And this project could be on some particular area in the world of finance where there is an issue that you think needs highlighting, and then you will apply those skills and theoretical knowledge that you will get in the first 3 semesters of your program to come up with a solution, to come up with a report where you talk about your research topic, where you talk about the importance of that research topic, where you then talk how you went about looking at that particular issue. So data collection, data analysis, discussion of results, conclusions. So this would be the highlight of the program in the sense that all the theoretical knowledge that you would have received in the first part of the program would then be applied into this supervised project that would be a teamwork. We will talk a bit more about this project as we come to the slides where we discuss the different course units. But the important thing about the project is that it carries a lot of weight of your program. And this is what we mean when Amedeo was saying that there would be a mix of theory and practice, both of them put together in MSc Financial Management. Theory would come in the first 3 semesters. Practice or the application of theory would come in this supervised project. So the idea here is that all the learnings that you will have in MSc Financial Management as an individual or as a team player, you would be hopefully able to apply all of these learnings directly to your workspace. And for that reason, the way in which we have created your courses and the assignments and the assessments is that we use a lot of case studies, because case studies bring you to the real world much closely than when we have a kind of a notional example. So all that background and all that training that you will receive in the first 3 semesters would then come in very handy when you move on to the final semester of your course.
Okay, thanks a lot, Arif. So I would like to spend some time to discuss the structure of the program. And right away, I want to say something which is very important and I need to make clear in advance before I look into the structure. So we have units in which we do have some workshops. Okay, normally a 3-day workshop per unit. And the attendance of these workshops is absolutely compulsory. Okay, so if you intend to join this program, you need to bear in mind that you will have to attend these workshops. These are intensive workshops. Basically, they are 9 to 5 or even longer days, and they last over 3 days. And generally, within the workshop, we have a chance to interact with the students, to address questions, to work often on a group project. And this group project often counts for around half of your overall mark for that particular unit. Okay, so it's very important that this is clear to you. So in the case of the first semester, we have 2 foundational units, foundations of accounting, foundations of finance. These are very important units. They're also prerequisites for future units. They last around 6 months, including the assessments. And at the very start, we have 2 workshops back to back, okay, for the 2 units. So there is a quick start, a good start, I would say, for you to acclimatize yourself also to understand what the program is about with these 6-day workshops together at the very start. These are very important units. So again, if you want to join the program, please make sure that you have time to attend these workshops at the start, because they're very important and these are foundational units. In these foundational units, like in most of the others, I would say practically all of them, we have 2 assignments. Again, one assignment is group-based assignment. It's a project that is normally carried out throughout the workshop itself. And another one, which is a final assignment, which is carried out in the final month of the first unit. So we can move on then to the second semester. Second semester will start around March. So the first one starts around September. Then we have the second semester in March, likewise in year 2. Now in the second semester, I actually teach corporate finance, so I teach one of the units. So we have corporate finance, global financial markets. These units are quite similar to the foundational units we had in semester one, with one difference, that the workshops take place normally in May. Okay, that is the second part of May, that is the timing of the workshops. Again, these are compulsory workshops, so you need to attend them to pass these units. So it's very important that you take that into account. And of course, these are units that build up on what has been already learned in the first semester. So that's why it's important you do well in that semester. There is also another unit called Data Analysis and Statistical Techniques. This is a purely online unit. Okay, so remember that this is a blended program, means that in most units, the content is provided online through an online platform and also through some online sessions. Okay, but we also have the face-to-face workshops, which you can attend face-to-face at our centers. In the case of data analysis, statistical techniques, on the other hand, this is a purely online unit. So you have online content, and you also have some online sessions. Okay, more online sessions, but you do not have the workshop. So what is the purpose of this unit? It's a unit that allows you to improve your understanding of some statistical techniques, starting from the basics, that would allow you to analyze data. Okay, analyze data for your company, your industry, your market, and also analyze data for the final project. Semester 3 is actually quite similar. So in semester 3, we have financial statement analysis, international financial management. Again, these are units in which we have workshops in the middle and 2 assignments. And then we have the second part somehow of the statistical unit you did in semester 2, called quantitative methods for financial management. Again, this is a purely online unit that complements the final project and also complements all of the other units. In the final semester, we have 2 units that are somehow more specialist in a sense, because they focus on very important topics, more advanced topics. So we have venture capital and private equity, a very hot topic in finance and even beyond in economics, I would say. And also we have business models and financial strategy, in which somehow you kind of think about the overall financial strategy of a company and think about how the company can pursue it through some transactions, such as, for instance, an IPO, an equity issue, or an acquisition of another company, for instance. And again, in these 2 units, we have workshops near the end of May or June or early June. And finally, the group project. The group project, again, it's a very important part of your MSc. In the group project, you will work with other students on a project, as Arif has already explained very well. This must be a project in finance, of course, but we will give you some options as to the project that you can do. So we will give you some topics, and then you can basically pick one of these topics, and you will be able to work on that particular topic. Okay, so we can, if you want, I can explain a bit more about this. If you get in touch with me, I can do that about the group project. Thanks.
Thank you, Amedeo. That was really insightful. I am going to hand it over to Arif now to walk you through the virtual learning platform, just so you can kind of help yourself visualize what that looks like and how you'll come to use it should you decide to embark on this journey.
Okay, thank you, Daisy. So what we thought would be interesting for you as a prospective student is to look as to how we deliver the material in a blended learning environment. So we use at Manchester University a platform called Blackboard, and you can be anywhere in the world. Once you're logged on to the university server, as I am right now, and as you can see on your screen, you can go on Blackboard and you will find all the course material for any specific module of your program on Blackboard. So here I share with you the material that I have for Foundations of Finance course. So let me see if I can get you a better screen. So if you look at this organization of the material here, I have chosen 7 topics for Foundations of Finance, and material for all of these topics will be uploaded before the start of the semester. So for example, in here, if I go to the home page, what you will see here is that we have topic 1. When you click on topic 1, I have uploaded some material. For example, if I click on what is finance, here is a commentary on this particular topic, what is finance, to start with. So what you will do is at the start of the semester, when you look at the contents of your course, Foundations of Finance, you'll find 7 topics. The first topic is the Introduction to Corporate Finance or Introduction to Finance. And here for this topic, I provide you with a narrative. And then once you go through the narrative, I then guide you towards other activities of the program. For example, you look at certain practice questions. I provide you details of the case study. And then what we do is we move on to a part of the platform where we have a lot of discussion as a group. So me as a tutor and you as a student, we have a discussion about what you think was interesting about this particular topic. What do you think was not well understood in this topic? So you put up your questions there, as you are doing right now on the Zoom meeting. So all the material is uploaded beforehand, and each of the topics, as you can see here, would have an introduction video. So when you click on the video, in this particular short video, I talk to you about what do we learn from this topic, what are the activities that are connected with this topic. So you first look at the video, and then when you scroll down, you will see what you should be able to achieve by the end of this topic. For example, you should be able to understand what are the different elements of finance, how different people and organizations look at finance. So what are the alternative views on finance? What is the status of finance? How does finance compare with other disciplines? So you will be able to do a self-check of the learning outcomes for each of these topics that are covered in my course. And this is a format that is very common with all the other modules of the program as well. So as I scroll down, you will find all the material, and it's very easy for you to move on to the next page, for example, when you click on the next. So this is how the teaching material is structured. So topic 2 is here. This is about time value of money. Topic 3, when you click on that, it's about bonds and shares and how do you value them. Topic 4 is about what are different sources of financing a firm, and so on and so forth. We also provide you with a schedule. So when you click on the schedule, as I'm doing for you here, you get a sense of where you should be at what point of time in the semester. For example, for the current cohort that I'm teaching, because I'm showing you this live, what I've said to them is, okay, in the first week of your semester, you will have your face-to-face workshop. We already had that because we started in September. Then in the second week, I guide them to go and read about topic 2. And then I say, okay, you go on to read a particular chapter 1 and chapter 2 of your textbook after you have read my notes in topic 1. So basically with this study schedule, you will always be able to self-check about your progress throughout the semester, because this is something that gives you a sense of direction. For example, by the 10th week, you should have finished topic 4 in the semester. And after that, all the way up to the end of the semester. For example, if you look at week 20, this is when I want my students to work on their final assignment for the last 3 weeks before they submit the assignment towards the end of the semester. So all the material like this is available to you at the start of the semester. We also communicate with you through the Blackboard channel. So all the announcements regarding your course would be available on Blackboard. Every course will have 2 online lectures in the semester. So details of these online lectures will be made available. Recordings of these online lectures will also be on Blackboard. Assessment and the marks and the feedback for your assessments, all the aspects of a particular module of your program will be dealt with through Blackboard as the VLE. So that's to give you a bit of an idea of how the teaching material is organized. how it is made available. You don't need to buy any textbooks because they will be made available to you electronically. Amedeo already said to you there are no exams, so there will be 2 assignments. Assignment 1 is usually a team assignment, so you work with your team members. And the final assignment, assignment 2, is usually an individual assignment. And between these 2 assignments, 100% marks of your module are divided 50-50 usually. So you don't have to worry about taking an exam, because the way in which we have developed your assignments is that we do check your understanding and your learning outcomes through these 2 assignments. So hopefully this quick view into the VLE environment has given you a sense of how the teaching material is organized. What I have just shown you is also very common or will be used for other modules as well. And that's the principal source of material for any particular module of your program.
Thanks a lot, Arif. I think probably Daisy's computer is having some problems, so we can actually address, I can actually add a bit more information while we wait for Daisy to be back. So first of all, just to clarify about our intake of students, next intake of students, well, of course, we started our program in September 2020. So then we had 2 cohorts of students from 2 centers. So essentially Shanghai and Manchester. Then this year in 2021, we had 4 cohorts of students from 4 centers actually. So now we also include Hong Kong and Singapore that are together, and we also have Dubai. Okay, so likewise in September 2022, we aim to have students from 4 centers, basically 4 cohorts of students. So the size of the program should be quite similar to the current size. So the program now, it's important that we realize that we run each of these units once every year. So we start in September each year, basically, when we enroll our students. The first unit runs from September until March. We actually give you February free so that you can relax a little bit. So basically, we go over the content of each unit from September until basically the end of December, and then we give you some time to work on your assignment in January. Often assignments are actually provided quite early throughout the unit, but of course the submission deadline for the final assignment at least would be in month 5 of each unit, and then we give you month 6 free so that you can somehow take a break. Then we restart in March. Okay, we restart in March, and again we have a similar structure. So over 4 months we cover the content for each unit, and again, of course, over this period we have a variety of activities. We have online content that we provide online. That's a very important part. And when we say online content, there is a variety of material there. So we have content such as perhaps some written text on a particular topic that we have written ourselves. Plus, we provide references to textbooks. By the way, the textbooks are included. You don't need to buy any textbooks. Okay, our library has fantastic resources, of course, but we also provide 1 textbook at least for each unit. This is an online textbook, and it's free for you, so you can use it whenever you want. We also, of course, provide further readings like academic papers, other types of papers. We also often ask you, these are very important activities, although some students don't do them as well. But actually what we do often in each unit, we provide some activities that for you to do. These activities often, they are very similar to the final assignment. Okay, so in a sense, if you do these activities, they're not often marked, so you don't get marks for these activities, but you do better in the final assignment. And just to give an example, in my own unit, which is called Corporate Finance, I ask students often to work on a company or on some companies, perhaps competitors, gather data on those companies, run some analysis based on the techniques that we learn together, and then share the outcomes of their analysis on the discussion forum, okay? And then interact with other students. We believe that's very beneficial. We also have quizzes, so we also provide some quizzes that you can try. We do have then online sessions, okay? And of course, if you want to talk to us, you can do that at any point in time. So we have the discussion forum where you can post questions to us, to other students. You have our email, of course, you can contact us. And if you want, you can also arrange a meeting, either face-to-face if you are here, or at least through Zoom. So there is a variety of activities. Arif, if you could please scroll to the, yeah, okay. So I want to touch upon a few issues I have left out. So the next enrollment date will be September 2022. Okay, the duration of the program is 2 years. We say it's flexible if needed. So what does it mean? It means that in the best case scenario, we want you to finish the program within 2 years. It's better for you, it's better for us, and you can do it. You know, most people can do it, and most people are doing it now. We have students that started in September 2020, and now most of them are still enrolled on the program, and they're going to finish next semester. So it's manageable, you can do it. However, if something serious happens, perhaps you have too much work to do, or you have some kind of personal issue that does not allow you to continue at a certain pace in the program, well, in that case, you can slow down. You can basically, you should let us know as soon as possible, and then we would find a solution for you. And perhaps you can do 1 unit per semester for a while, not 3 units. So you can slow down a little bit. You can even interrupt your studies. But again, there are some rules. So if you want to do so, please get in touch as soon as possible. I have a question about whether the program is blended. Yeah, it's a blended program, but indeed we will help you when it comes to the workshops. Okay, so of course, if you're enrolled, let's say in the UK center, and you live outside the UK, you need a visa, then of course we'll be able to provide some documentation that would help you get the visa in case of need. Okay, so of course I'm not an expert in this area, but that's what normally happens. So we have been running the global MBA program for a very long time. We have students from all over the world, and so far so good. There haven't been any problems. In fact, when we started our MSc in Financial Management, I believe we had students from many countries. So that's a nice part about this program. Now, the face-to-face workshops are compulsory, so please make sure you have time for those. You cannot skip them. Okay, you can skip them if something exceptional happens, but this should not be ordinary in a sense. Okay, normally you should attend these workshops. Now, in terms of commitment, I want to say that you need to have time also to work on this MSc. Even if you want to pass, you probably need something around 15 hours at the minimum per week, depending on how quickly you study, of course. But I would say think about 15 hours per week on average. Of course, when you are at the workshop, you spend maybe 10 hours every day on the content. When you are not, perhaps you spend less than 15 hours. So overall, the average should be 15 to 20 hours. So bear that in mind. There are no exams at all, okay? But that doesn't mean that somehow the assignments are not necessarily challenging. We give you assignments that will lead you to learn something deep about our subjects. So we want deep learning, not shallow learning. And what are our students? Well, our students are, most of them are working professionals with quite a lot of experience. Okay, perhaps they're not as experienced as the global MBA students, but most of them have substantial experience, and they come from different industries, very different industries. Some people perhaps they already work in accounting. Some people perhaps they work in some financial institutions, but they're not necessarily somehow using some of the techniques we teach. So perhaps they're not necessarily doing a finance job, but they work in finance institutions. Some people are entrepreneurs. They want to know more about finance. Some people are consultants. I believe this MSc is great for consultants. Some people work in other industries, like we have people working even in education, for instance. So we have different types of people with different backgrounds and different professions. It's an MSc that is excellent for people, again, that want to have progression in their current career, or perhaps change their career completely, change maybe the industry in which they work, in which they operate. It's excellent to build a great network. I think probably we have the largest network in the UK, I'm sure even beyond, because we have so many students from so many different places all over the world. Now, although most of our students are working professionals with significant experience, some of them, they may have limited experience. So we also accept people with limited or even no experience, although in the past we haven't received many applications in this direction, but this could be a possibility. So the average age, for instance, is 32 years. And Daisy, I'm glad that you're back. So I don't know if you want to take over from here.
Thank you, Amedeo. Thank you, Arif. You obviously saved the day there. I had horrendous technical issues, so appreciate you both covering me there. Apologies, everyone. I am back. Amedeo, I'm sure you've given this slide some justice, but you're absolutely right. We have a whole range of students on this course from a whole range of different industries, and I don't want to kind of repeat anything, but this diversity is what kind of makes this course really stand out. Our students who have spoken to me and I'm connected to on LinkedIn and via the phone have said to me that they learn not only from the academic team, but also from each other. So they're learning from each other and from our fantastic academics, which, like I said, really makes this course stand out from other courses, and having that opportunity to network at our various different centres during those blended workshops helps them to feel connected to and a part of something, really. If you're unsure that your experience might not be what we're looking for, or you're unsure about anything to do with kind of taking the next steps and applying and going through the admissions process, please get in touch with me. Like I said earlier on in the presentation, I can really kind of go into a lot of detail about your background, your motivations, and really kind of help you take that next step. Arif, if we could move on to the next slide, that would be great. Thank you. So just to finish off with some contact details. So you've got myself there. So I look after the recruitment for the Manchester Centre, but I've also got colleagues across the globe as well. So if you would like to get in touch with me in the first instance, by all means do. My email address and phone number is on the screen. I can then put you in contact with our international colleagues. However, if you're based in or closer to our Shanghai centre, the contact you need there is our lovely colleague Sherry. Arif, if you could move on to the next slide, that would be great. We've got Venus, who is the East Asia Centre Director for Hong Kong, Jaslyn, who is our Singapore Marketing and Admissions Manager, and finally we've got Remy in Dubai. So they're there to support you in kind of taking the next steps and moving forward with your postgraduate journey. I hope you found today's session insightful. I really do apologise for my technical issues. That's never happened before, so typical, it happens on the first recruitment event. That being said, Arif and Amedeo, you've provided a really good insight into the course, and I really do hope prospective students listening to this live and watching this back on YouTube have found it beneficial, and we hope to welcome you on our third cohort starting in September 2022. Arif, Amedeo, I'm not sure if you would like to close with anything or finish with anything.
No, actually nothing to add. Just say again, thank you for your attendance, and I hope that you found this webinar useful, and please get in touch if you want to ask any questions.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again. And there were a few questions here. Please do get in touch with Daisy or the other colleagues here, and they will be very happy to answer your questions. Anything that specifically helps you to decide if this is a good program for you or not.
Thank you, Arif and Amedeo. Just to finish, just quickly before we close today's event, we are open for applications. So if you are ready to apply, do apply. We've got several discounts in place as well. So something to kind of discuss with the relevant recruitment support contact once you're kind of ready to start that journey. Thank you again, and I hope to hear from you very soon.